Well, first of all, that team was the toughest, most physical defensive team that we played in years. It reminded me of the old Gene Cady, Clem Haskins teams when I started in this profession. And they did a good job, and I didn't think we did a very good job. We got stymied a lot. I love these guys because they keep grinding. They kept grinding. Getting close before half was very critical. At halftime, we felt like we could drive the ball a little bit more. Trey drove it. These guys drove it. Jase made some big shots. Coen, a couple big blocks. And Jaden made a big three, and then those free throws at the end. So it's hard to believe that 2 days we're playing for a chance to do one of the all-time great things in any basketball player's life, and that's play for a Final Four. And I'm proud and happy for them. They've earned it. They've deserved it. They did it.
Okay, we'll open up with questions. Myron, we'll go to you first. Third row on the left.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN. Jaden, coaches have called this one of the most connected teams that he has coached. What is it about this team that has allowed you all to have the chemistry that we saw out there today?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I feel like it just go back to the summer. Ever since we got all our guys on the team, we always hang out off the court and do a lot of things off the court, and that just leads to our chemistry on the court, really, and everybody just wants the best for each other.
We got right here on the front row on the right.
Yeah, Mike Griffith from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Jase, looked like you heated up in the first half. Can you just talk about that run you got on there?
I just felt like my teammates was putting me in positions to be successful today. I told them after the New Mexico game that I owe them a game because I felt like I wasn't that good in that game. So I knew I had to come out here and make one up for these guys.
Third row on the left.
Dan Wolken, USA Today. For Jase and Jaden, what did it take physically and mentally to finally break the paint against that defense? And just how difficult was it in the first half when you weren't able to do that?
I think for us in the first half, we weren't being as aggressive as we should have been. I felt like they were kind of just punking us in the beginning. We couldn't get to the paint, shooting decent shots, but not great shots. But I think second half, it really opened up for us. We were being more aggressive. We're getting downhill, we're getting driving kicks. So I felt like we were at our best in that second half.
Down front here on the right.
Robbie LaStella, Bracketeer.org. My question's for Jase. Jase, Tom mentioned yesterday that the game you guys played here against Kansas was when he really saw what you could do against veteran guards. Was there any bit of that game in your mind today? And have you ever had a 20-point performance like that in as big of a game like this?
I mean, Coach brought it up, the Kansas game. Yesterday, he was kind of just talking about that was the first time he really felt me, kind of be myself. So it was kind of in the back of my mind, but I knew just coming into this game, it was a huge game for us because we knew Ole Miss was going to be a really tough team. So for me, I just wanted to come in, try to make a positive impact, and just make big plays.
Let's go on the back row, right on the aisle.
Emmanuel Glaze, to Crush Sports Talk. Coen, take me through that last 5 minutes, defensive-wise. What did you guys do defensively to slow them down on that side of the ball?
We were just trying to play tough, rebound. We gave up a couple crucial rebounds in that segment, but we were just trying to make sure we're in our gaps, not let them get, not let Padula get open threes and Morrell. But yeah, we were just trying to bear down on defense and get some key stops because our offense was rolling at that time.
We'll stay on the back row.
Hey, Gunter Schroeder, USA Today. Question for Coen. I wanted to ask you about your energy levels pregame. You seem pretty amped up. Obviously, a lot of friends and family in attendance to see you play for the second time this season. Were you a bit more amped up than usual, maybe knowing your family was here to see you play? And do you think it made you play better in any way down the stretch?
Yeah, I definitely was amped up. To me, I think it made me play a little worse, especially in that first part of that game. But yeah, I definitely was hyped. I got a lot of family that haven't seen me play yet in forever. So yeah, it was definitely a great time.
Front row here on the left.
Christy Winter-Scott, Big Ten Network, and Jaden, this one is for you. What was the biggest difference maker defensively after the first half? It was a +8 for them in paint points, but how was that a big challenge for you defensively to take away the paint in the second half, but also scramble out to Padula from 3?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they had 5 guys that could drive it, so I feel like they were doing that at will, really, in the first half. We weren't in our gaps how we should have been. And then at halftime, we talked about that a lot, just trying to keep them out the paint and trying to slow Padula down. He still had a good game, but I feel like we kept them out the paint a little bit better in the second half, and that was the reason why we won.
Second row on the aisle.
Jonathan Schaub, Spartan Nation, Spartans on SI. For the 3 players, how do you balance the energy you need to bring in for this stage, this game, with the focus that you need, especially to close down the stretch, putting your best foot forward?
For us, we always say we play better when we're having fun, but we know that you got to come in with a mentality. So we try to have as much fun as possible playing, but we also got to be locked in because we still got to key into our defensive things, key into our offensive things, but we got to have as much fun as possible because I feel like that's when we're at our best.
Fourth row on the right.
Deshaun Tate, three-point conversion here in Atlanta. This question is for Jaden. Kind of take yourself back to earlier in the season where it was pretty clear there were some shooting struggles, there was some criticism that was coming with some of that. Now as a senior, and you know what it means to be a senior in a program like this, kind of talk a little bit about, you know, stepping up to those challenges and hitting some big-time shots on a big-time stage when they matter the most.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a long season. You know, with my shooting struggles, I stay in the gym. I still believe in myself, still confident. And I feel like the team needs me to make plays down the stretch, you know, for us to win. So I'm just looking to do that. I'm not really worried about my shooting, just thinking next shot going in every time.
Second row on the far left.
Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Jaden Akins, along those same lines. Score was tied, about a minute and 20 seconds left. Ran a play, ghost screen, I think. Got a switch. You drove, scored in the lane. Game was in the balance right there. What did you read? Can you take me through that play? I think you got it to rattle in going down the lane. Tell me about that play.
Yeah, I mean, we ran a play, it broke down, and I just had it at the top of the key, and I just tried to make a play. I wanted to be calm, and I just saw it open, and I took it, and then, you know, thankfully I made the shot.
Second row here on the far right.
James Fletcher from On 3. Tom, you talked just there in your opening statement.
Just for the guys right now, I guess, right?
Was it?
What did you have? I'm sorry.
It was a quick question for Coach Izzo. So
that's fine. That's
okay.
fine. Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier in your opening statement about what it means to play for the right, to play for the Final Four, to have that on Sunday. But this is your 8th Elite 8 appearance as well. Do you put any stock into that, or at this point in your career, are you only focused on kind of Final Fours, the big achievements in your career when you talk about those kind of banner moments?
Yeah, you know, Elite Eights are great too, but go back to my statement from the beginning. You know, we don't put up any banners for grade eights. You know, we put up banners for championships and Final Fours and national championships. But I've talked to these guys about it. I mean, I guess that's the one thing I do have some experience on. Thank God I got a couple players, former players. I got a whole locker room full of former players right now. I got Kevin Willis beating up my guys because we weren't as tough, and he's tough. But I thought that I thought the coaches I got on my staff that have been to Final Fours have talked to them. I mean, we've all talked to them. It's believe it or not, we got to play better, but so proud of them. I mean, we're not a team that can just go out and play and win. And boy, we did a hell of a job second half.
We'll go back row on the left.
Hey, Gunter Schroeder, USA Today. Question for Jase. You've been kind of the go-to guy on the team for three-pointers. I talked to your dad a little bit, and he said your shot at hit the same age was a little bit better than his. Pretty high praise, but you know, kind of referring to what you said about you owed your teammates one after last Sunday. What did you do over the last week to try to get back in that rhythm and find your shot from deep again tonight?
Never leave the gym. I feel like that was kind of the biggest thing for me over when we got back. I was in the gym constantly just trying to get my shot back because I don't think I've ever shot that bad in a game before in New Mexico. So I knew I had to make it up to these guys and hit some shots today.
Front row here on the right.
Yes, for Tom. Down 10, 30-second timeout.
You're fine.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Down 10 early on. What do you tell them during that 30-second timeout to settle them in that situation in this arena?
Ask them what the hell they're doing. No, we were not guarding. We were not doing a very good job offensively. They hit slips. The real killer was the turnovers. We had turnovers, and they were kind of ridiculous turnovers. Would you guys agree?
Sure. Yeah.
And they always agree with me after the fact, but we had turnovers, and I think they had 9-2 points off turnovers. That was the difference in the game. We gave up a missed cutoff free throw. We gave up out-of-bounds plays. We gave up, you know, they're supposed to be a poor rebounding team. They kicked our butts. They had 12 offensive rebounds to our 5. So, you know, what you should do is give them a lot of credit and yet give us a lot of credit for bouncing back in the second half.
Fourth row on the left.
Raphael Haynes with the three-point conversion. This is for Coen. If you can take me through that dunk, what was going through your mind? Was it more of what dunk am I going to do? Was it not miss it? Like, can you just take me through that moment?
No, yeah, I really didn't think Fierce was gonna get the steal. He jumped up, got both hands on the basketball, and I just took one dribble and dunked it. I knew Dia was coming, so I didn't know if he was gonna jump or not. So I didn't really think about what dunk to do. I just went up and made sure I made it.
Got time for one more if anybody has one. Back row.
Manuel Glaze to Crush Sports Talk. Jaden, I know you're going to celebrate this one, but you know the game coming on Sunday. Talk about the mentality that you as the leader of the team want the team to have to get ready for Sunday's game.
Yeah, I mean, we got the best coaching staff in the country, I feel like, and they're going to have us ready to play. You know, we're going to do a lot of walkthroughs, get ready for whoever we're going to play. And I'm just going to tell the guys, you know, go out there and play with no fear, and we're going to have no regrets. We're going to play as hard as we can.